Hey, we're back. I'm going to go find a trainer to beat up so that I can buy one hyper potion. Because this is one of those games where those things still restore 200 hit points, so they're like really good. Yeah. Grr. Okay. Powerful Pokemon Zoroark. Oh. Powerful Pokemon Zoroark. Sent out Zoroark. Hello. Oh, I've made a mistake. Palindred. Rapid Jab? What is this OC baloney? Okay. Okay, you wanna go pro? We can go. Oh no, I KO'd it. I'm going to quit out and resume because I want to know if I can catch that thing. Hey, we're back. Grr. Okay, Zoroark fight. What do you mean it's super effective? Oh, it must be a fighting move. Well, that complicates things greatly. Alright, screw it. We doze in. Yeah, bro. Sure. Oh, fuck you. Back. So... we've been replaying Custom Robo Arena lately. Just the other day finished the main story. And I should have known. I should have known you would do that. Okay. So, Slipstring. What is that? What is this freaking fox with a bunch of OC nonsense? Okay. Oh. Okay, it cannot be caught. Good to know. Cool, I will, but I'm gonna go save first. So that was probably a waste of time then. Well now, I am so sorry I wasted everyone's time with that. Anyhoosums, I gotta go heal. So, yeah, Custom Robo Arena, good game. But, I will say, I'm pretty sure that the GameCube one runs, I think it runs at 60 FPS. It might run at 30 as well. Actually, given the era of the game, it probably would be a... So, Right, Custom Robo. So, the one I was playing was Arena, which, first of all, why is it called Custom Robo Arena? And the answer, one may think, is because it's the second game that had to give it a different title. That is incorrect. It's like the 4th game, I think. There's like 2 games that were on like the 64, and then the GameCube title, which is the first that we got here in the West, so they just called that one Custom Robo, pulled a Final Fantasy on us. So that's like whatever, but we got the GameCube one. I think it was like Custom Robo GX or something stupid like that. And Arena, the original Japanese name, was like Custom Robo Rumble, which, I'm just gonna say it, Robo Rumble, alliteration, snappy, catchy name, why change it to Arena? Custom Robo Arena. That's like, there's no smoothness to that title. Robo Rumble, even without the custom part, that is a good name. Roro, that's good. Why change it to... Why change it? Why change it to Arena? And I think the answer is because, well, you play the game in an arena. It's a tournament arc. The game, like the entire game, is just one really long, multiple tournament arcs right after each other. With like training bits between them, but like that's it. Hidden hideaway. Oh. I have them on TRs. She can't afford TMs. Okay, so this is where they keep the OC moves. A steel move that's a knockoff. A steel knockoff. Wacky. The user attacks with concentrated garbage. Oh, that's a funny one. Concentrated garbage. Wow. No, not really. Okay. Are there any wild Pokemon in this cave? I guess not. That's sad. So we fought that for nothing. Anyways, Bugcatcher Rob. Okay, cool thing. Coolio Rob. Neat Dragon Balls. So, well, like the entire plot of Arena is just an extended tournament arc. That's all it is. It's like, you show up, and your dad's like, hey son, here's a Robo. Then it's been like your first, and like he never tells you to do an eye scan, which is nonsense, because you later find out that the guy works, like he builds them. That's like his job. He creates the Robos. And he never tells you, hey, make sure you sync your eyes, because literally only one person can ever do it. So like, be sure to do that before someone else does. So you never do that. Like, it takes one of your classmates being like, hey, you do know how this thing works, right? And that's how when you finally do it, and then you finally use it in a fight. Whoopee. Would you stop healing? Cool. So, yeah, you step in to stop like some guy from harassing some freaking chumps, and then like the chump queen's like, hey, you're good, which makes you like one good person at this, who's not already part of like the other guy's team, because like the guy who's harassing the people was like, he was like the head of the other team, and he's like, yo, just give up, Lamau. And so, you know, you beat up his lackey because he's too afraid to fight you himself. Because isn't that how these always go, right? So, like, so you beat this lackey, and then the girl who you helped step in for, and the game doesn't let you walk away. Which, big sad. Like, I'm not surprised that they're pulling, but you have to bit with, like, half the freaking dialogues. But I'm just saying, the GameCube one literally lets you get a funny joke game over by just saying no enough times. They don't let you do that in Arena. Like, big sad. They could at least write, like, 1 or 2 extra tiers of dialogue for if you keep saying no. But they don't. And come on, it's not that hard, but whatever. So you save the girl. Oh hell yeah, it's rain time. Finally. I guess it's random every time you show up. Wow. Wow. Why am I here again? Right, money. No. Dragon hole. There we go. Yo, is that a Jangmo? Holy crap, bro. Well, it's KO'd. Oops. Good to know these are here. Why is that my default move? Oh, it's confused. Come on, give me the good lucky. No, damn it. Lamau, what are you doing? Who runs special attack fracture? You buffoon. So, anyway, you beat up the guy because he's harassing the girl, and the girl's like, hey, do you want to join my team? The numero unos. Which, first of all, how conceited do you have to be to literally just call your team, like, best team? Like, who does that? How arrogant must one be to do that? Okay, so it's bulletproof. Cool. Oh, hello, outrage. Lamau, okay, sure. So anyway, yeah, the guy his team being a jerk, so you kick his buddy's butt, and he's like, oh well, this won't help you because there's a tournament in like 2 days, and you're gonna lose. So haha. Oh, hey, cool, got it. Yes, we're using that. Good Pokemon. Oh, cool. I am so mad that they removed the whatchamacallums, the Jangmo and Komos. I'm so mad that they removed them from the frickin' what's it called? Scarlet and Violet, that's the word. Okay. So anyway, he's smug, he's a jerk, whatever. So basically, you spend like the next 2 in-game days doing like a training arc nonsense, and then you show up to the tournament and you kick his butt, and you have to basically solo the entire thing, because there's like the girl who runs the team, and like her soy boy buddy Dennis, who like has the audacity to call himself your sidekick when he can't do crap. All my homies hate Dennis. So anyway, Dennis freaking loses his first match, because of course he does, because he's freaking Dennis. And glasses, soy ass, whatever. So, yeah, obviously you beat him. Or, yeah, you don't beat Dennis. You fight him once in, like, the tutorial, and then never again. Like you can optionally fight him in like the post, in like not the post game, but like near the end of the game. Like there's a bit where you have to fight 5 guys, but there's 8 people, so you get to pick. So that's whatever. But like, you beat Dennis in like the training arc, and then you join the tournament, and Dennis chokes and loses the first match, because of course he does, because he's freaking Dennis, he can't do anything. So, it turns out, hey, guess what? The girl who roped you into this, your third teammate, quote unquote, she cannot pilot Robo. She can't. So, basically, you have to solo 3 fights consecutively in order to not have your team lose. And like, first of all, I gotta say, she has the audacity to not like even bother getting like another person. Which, whatever. More on that later. So anyway, you get to the, what's it called? Anyway, you win the tournament arc, because of course you do, because, you know, whatchamacallem, his name's like Bull or something, which like, yeah, his name is Bull. He's like the leader of the grapple gang, and they're called that because they all use metal grapplers, which are like, I'm not gonna call them the best robo in the game, but like, they're really good against the AI, because they have that big defense, and they just power up all your weapons just by being one. So, pretty solid. So, you fight, whoop-de-doop-de, you win, I think, yeah. And you beat him, and he's like, cool, that means you get to join the next tournament, because the entire game is just like tournament arc after tournament arc. So, and the plot of the plot of the first one is just like taking this guy who's like smug as heck. Ugh, look at this thing. Ugh, it's Komo. It's supposed to have big defense, and this one has no defense. Get out of here. Catch another one. Yeah, we'll catch another one. So, actually no, we should fight the guy. We should fight, what's his name? So... Anyway, the plot of like the second arc of the game, because there's multiple arcs, because of course there are. And it's basically that you hear from a rumor that like the Queen Bitch on Forester High, which is like the second tournament, she's got some weird thing where her robo turns gold and gets super strong, and then she just completely thrashes whoever she's up against. So obviously you're like, well crap, if she's got that, how do we beat her, right? So you spend like the next few in-game days trying to figure out how to do that, because obviously if she can do it, you can do it, right? And you basically learn... Do you get soul boost before or after you fight? No, you don't even get the power until after you beat her. And like the reveal is that she discovered it through her own training, but you find out that there's another way to get it. You have to talk to this guy who's like called Old Man Stark, who's just this old guy on a mountain, right? So you climb the mountain, you get to him, and there's like a bit where it's like, hey, there's like 3 people, and you get to pick one, and they each come difficulty slider, basically. So, like, I don't know I've never taken the easy mode one. I took the middle one once, but I think every time I've gone to the hard mode, because, like, the game's not hard, right? So, you do the hard mode one, and there's like, yeah, you won, but, like, maybe you're arrogant or something, yada yada, so, whatever, shut up. So, obviously, you just roll through it. And then you get to him, he's like, yes, well, I could teach you, but I won't. So you just go home, right? And that's big sad. Kind of a jerk. Oh, Mean Look Parish song, okay. So anyway, you don't get the answer to how to do the thingy from him, but you, like, at some point you meet like a police officer, right? Because this game came out like 2007. So, it was like before it was popular to hate law enforcement, so... And, like, the main character, his stated motivation is he wants to be, like, win all the tournaments so that he can get a job with the police. Because instead of just using a gun, like one would think, no, in custom Robo world, everyone uses Robo to fight. which is weird because I just feel like you could just take the guns that they have, which are very small, and just make a bigger one, and just shoot a guy with it. Instead of having tiny robots fight each other, you could just attack the guy. I don't know why they don't do that. Because, like, the police have special robos who don't even need to fight inside of the hologram arena. They could just do it, so I don't know why they bother fighting the other guy's robot instead of just shooting him with their Gatling guns and flamethrowers. But whatever. So basically, you don't get soul boost before you fight, what's her name? It's like Serene. Something stupid like that. So you don't get the power, so you have to just confront her normally. No, we're not learning Dragon Rush. It's a bad, inaccurate move. I can barely tolerate 80. What is the encounter rate in this game? I'm serious, why is the encounter rate so insane? So you have to do the Terminator, and this is where the little thing gets me, right? So first of all, I have to get contacts that Bull basically said, hey, you could totally let me into your group if you don't get like another, of course, double sleep. Oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you not waking up? Frick you. Thank you. Die. Seriously, why is the encounter rate so high in this stupid cave? It's because it's a small cave, so they made the encounters high instead of making the map big. So anyway, you fight her, and this is where the live thing comes into an issue, because she's like, yeah, I can't dive, but she entered herself as your third person, even though she can't pilot Robo. And Bull is like, hey, I'm still willing to fight with you guys, man. And like, they could have just had him enter and then lose. Like, they have Dennis choke. Dennis loses his first match because he's Dennis and he can't do anything right. And then Bull, like, he beats, like, you could have him, like, go against Serene and then lose, and then he's like, well, I tried, but, like, she's too strong for me, you gotta do her, you're the main character, you have to beat her. So, but he doesn't, he's just standing there. So you solo through, like, their entire team, because Dennis is useless, and you cannot let Liv compete, because if she competes, she would lose, because she can't pilot Robo. So you win, whoop-de-doo. After that, there's, like, another bit of arc, right, where you finally get, like, involved with the police, right? Because what happens is that... No, right, there's a third tournament that you have to go to. No, it's not that. It's that you meet the police guy, and then Liv is like, hey, can you take us with you on patrol? And he's like, yeah, sure, there's clearly nothing wrong with me, a police officer, taking a pair of stupid high schoolers along on a mission with criminals who attack people with actual, like, outside the arena, these tiny robots with Gatling guns and flamethrowers. I should clearly take these two children along to go fight these guys. And obviously he gets his butt kicked because freaking there's like 3 competent people and you're one of them in this entire universe. So he loses horribly. And then Liv's like, hey, I can actually jailbreak your robot so that it can fight outside the arena, because she can just do that. I don't know why. It's never really explained why she's such, like, why she can do that. Because Dennis is supposedly the guy who's, like, the tech whiz, right? He sucks at robo fights, but he's, like, a genius or something. So he could totally do it, but he doesn't. It's Liv, who just has a program that she wrote that could just jailbreak it. Not even like she plucked it off the internet and just installed it. No, she wrote it herself, because of course she did, right? So whatever. she hacks your robo, and you can fight outside the arena. And let me say this: outside arena fights are garbage in that game, because what happens is you just like, it's, for one, you don't do the robo cannon thing, which is fine. The robo cannon is stupid. You and your opponent just start at like opposite ends of the map. I got nothing against that. My problem is the camera. The camera in the outside world arena fights is so horrible. I have lost matches just because I couldn't see things because the camera is like way down to the ground. In like actual arena battles, the camera's like above the area, but in the outside ones, it'll hover at like ground level, which is really annoying. But whatever, right? So yeah, that's where she hacks your robo, and then policeman's like, man, I gotta report this, but I don't wanna. So, you know, he reports it, and then like the head bitch of the police station, who's got huge tits, like all the girls in this game are freaking stacked. So she's like, hey, you're actually somewhat competent, Mr. 15-year-old. So, you know, she basically just like, I'll let you off with a warning because you clearly did it to like not die, because these tiny robots have Gatling guns and flamethrowers. So she lets you off, and then like you have to go to like the third tournament, right? And the third tournament is basically like against the science boys, who they're called the Supernovas, which for one, cringe. For two, like their gimmick is like one, like their leader, the red one, is named Lunax, and then there's Solax, the blue one, and Terrax, the green one. And first of all, Lunax, the guy named Loon, like the moon, because like they're made of celestial bodies, like moon, earth, and sun, right? That's their gimmick. Lunax, the moon guy, is red. His theme is fire, and he uses a robo named Apollo. So riddle me this. Why is the guy whose whole thing is like the sun named Lunax? Why is that? Meanwhile, the guy named Terrax like uses a robo whose whole shtick is it can basically teleport, and like his personal arena, it's really annoying. Like the lights basically turn off and you can't see shit. Like, you can see bombs and, like, your robo and the other guy, but you can't see the walls. So that map's a pain in the ass. Anyone who's, like, in, like, actual human versus human matches wants to use that map should be hit in the face by me. But, like, the guy named Terrax is the one with, like, all the shadow nonsense, which raises the question of, why is this guy not named Solax? And then, like, the third guy, Terrax should be the moon guy, because darkness, and then Solax is the one who's themed after water. So, and also he's lazy, like his whole shtick is he wants to sleep all the time. His entire personality is he wants to sleep, and sometimes he makes jokes about like waking up when things get serious. So, you know, that's whatever. But like, I'm convinced they had to have gotten the names mixed up at some point, because there is no way that the guy you named, the guy whose whole thing is fire and the sun, is named after the moon. The guy who's like darkness and weirdness is the one named after the earth, and like the lazy water guy is named after the sun. Like, how do you mess that up? How? It would make way more sense if the fire guy was named after the sun, the darkness guy was named after the moon, and the water guy was named after the earth. Which, okay, fine, I get it. It's like, oh, but why would you name him after the earth when he is water? And the answer is because the earth is covered in water. I'm mostly mad that the fire guy is named after the moon. How do you mess that up? How and or why? Heck, they could have stuck to calling Terrax and just swapped Sol and Moonax. Because, like, he's sleepy and water, and the moon is night, and it pulls the water. Like, you could have just done that and it would have been fine. But no, they didn't. It's gotta be a joke, right? Like, they have to be playing me for a fool. So anyway, when you go to fight those guys, like, for some reason, Liv is like, hey, let's go through a back alley, because reasons. And then you do, and there's, like, a criminal, and you have to fight him in the real world, and then you beat him. And, yeah. Right, and between all this, like, I mentioned that, like, the player character's dad is, like, a robo maker, right? So, like, there's a couple times where you go to, like, the labs for him and do some test fights, and, like, somewhere in there, like, your starting robo gets replaced with, like, the Ray Mark III, which is, like, the one on the cover, and, like, the one that showed up in that one Smash Brawl Assist trophy, you know, the little tiny one that shoots a bunch of bullets everywhere. That thing, that's the Ray Mark III. And you start with the Ray Mark II, and you get the 3 later. What's the difference? The 3 is worse. I'm not even joking. The Ray Mark III is a worse robo than the Ray Mark II, and the reason for that is because it gets a slight damage upgrade. Because every robo in this game, it's like they have modifiers. Like, they have slightly different stats. So even within, like, their own category, there's, like, an armor robo, a speed robo, and a power robo. Like, the power one has a slight damage increase with all their attacks. The speed one is just moves faster, and the armor one has damage reduction. So, obviously, like, there's other differences. Like, each has a special charge attack where the robo moves in a certain way. It has different iframe totals and timings and stuff. And, like, the Ray 3, its charge is just worse than the Ray 2. Because, like, the Ray 2 comes out, like, instantly, but the 3 has a delay. So, if you figure out how to use the charge attack, because the game never tells you that you have one, it says charge type, and then it'll have, like, attack, or flak, or movement, but it never tells you what button activates it. And it never really talks about how to use them in battle. So, you know, the first time I played it, when I was, like, in, like, middle school, I had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, why can the enemy robo just turn invincible randomly? So that's why, it's because it had a charge attack, and it used that. But, anyway. So they basically forced the Ray 3 on you, and as I said, the Ray 3, at least in my opinion, is just worse. It's about the same speed, and it's got a slightly higher damage multiplier. It's like, the Ray 2 is like 103%. No, it's 102%. The Mark 3 has 105, because the Mark 3 is like the designated... It's like the designated power robo with the Shining Fighters, which is basically like... The Shining Fighters is basically the ones that are just... They're defined by normalcy. By being like dead average. And they're all terrible because they're not really good at anything. And like in a game where you can customize your robot, you want your thing to be like good at the thing it does, right? So the Shining Fighters suck. So like they hype up the Ray Mark III as like the ultimate robo, the cutting edge modern technology, and it sucks, which is hilarious. So anyway, you get 3 and whatever. Very shortly after it, you have to do like a thing for like the police guys, and they give you another one, which is like a Wild Soldier, and like I do not know the difference between Shining Fighters and Wild Soldiers, right? They do the same thing. They're both like, they're just like regular size. They're kind of slow-ish, but not too slow. And they have dead average stats. I think, like, the only difference is the Wild Soldiers have worse jumping. And, like, that's it, right? And, like, they hype it up, because, like, they're like, oh my gosh, you got a Klimt! Those things are like police models, they're super amazing! And then you get it, and it's, like, the exact same thing as the thing you've already been using this entire time. But it jumps, like it descends as it jumps. That's it. Yeah, I think that's because like the Wilds, they're like the Shining Fighters, but like their air dash is faster, but like they descend quicker. So, you know, they're like, we'll give you, they look to the player basically and they go, alright player, we will give you new Robo, but it's going to be one that does the exact same thing as the one you've been using this entire time. But the charge attack is worse, because like the rays, their charges, they just move forward very quickly and just do damage, right? So you can use it for combos and stuff, like you just blast them with a bunch of guns and rush into them. It's fine, it works. And then you get the Klimt. And the Klimt, its charge, what it does is it just sits still, T-posing aggressively at the enemy as it moves forward really slowly, and then it jumps backwards. That's all it does. So for it to do anything, you have to be directly on top of your opponent. Which, you know what, I'm gonna say it. Close range, big damage robos are perfectly viable in this game, right? I think they're a little better in the GameCube one, but like they work perfectly fine, right? But you don't get to have any of the good close range, big damage weapons until like near the very final stretch of the game. Probably because they were so good in the GameCube game, they're like, we can't let players get these early. Because yeah, they're like, it does 1 billion damage, but like you have to be right up on top. But like you just equip the formula legs, which you can buy in like the first shop in Arena. No, not the first, the second one, I think. You can get really early. And like, I'm just gonna say it. The formula legs are probably the best leg parts in the game for most casual setups. Because it's like one of two that are good for running around on the ground. Like, almost every leg part is like different ways to tweak your jumps. And then you have the stabilizer legs, which lets you turn better, which you never use except on the ice map. Because there's an ice map. Because of course there's a stage with ice physics. I don't know why any person would ever want to play on it. If someone wants to play in the ice physics map, it's because they're playing like an air mech. Or not, like, it's because they're playing an aerial robo. Like, that's it. Like, the one boss you fight on the ice level is one that is a jumpy robot. So, you know. Don't play the ice stage. It sucks. So yeah, your first robo is like dead average, but like okay. Because like all the opponent robos are like using bad sets with limited options, so it's fine. And I think their AI is just programmed to be less aggressive, so it's fine, it's fine. And the charge is good. And then you get replaced with like a slightly worse one that's like... it's got the exact same speed, and a very small damage increase that's hardly noticeable. And like the charge is worse. So it's like the exact same, but like your one attack option is kind of bad now, because the Ray 3, it has starting lag on the charge attack, which I don't want starting lag on my charge attack. I want it to come out instantly. Half the point is it's a very fast, just bomb rush, click it to hurt things for a ton of damage option, while also being invincible when you do it. And now starting lag just kills it, right? So the Ray 3 is bad, and then you get another bad robo with a crappy charge attack that's, like, slow. So Klimt is also bad. But right around that stage in the game, like right after you get the Klimt, is when the first robo shop that sells new robos actually opens up. So the moment that happens, like, figure out which one you like most and stick to it. And I say that, and like what I would say is basically pick an air robo and learn how to pilot that, and pick a ground robo, learn how to pilot that, and just keep the two sets, because some fights will really mess you up if you're using one and not the other. So just pick one to preference. I'm I actually kind of prefer the Luna, which is like one of the aerial beauty ones. It's like, it's got multi-jumps in the air, so... Oh no, Blizzard. So close to a level up. So the Luna's good, I like it. Of the aerials, it's a speed one, which means it's like faster, I think. But realistically, it just means nothing, right? Well, okay, I'm losing focus here. I'm sorry. Because there's like 3 aerial beauties, like the Miranda, the Luna, and the Comet. Apparently, Miranda is like a star thing because they're all named after space stuff. And like the Comet is just a really, like, each of them has a different charge attack. And Miranda's the one that's used by like the Forester High lady, like the first boss to use Soul Boost, which in theory cool mechanic. In practice, it's just stand far away from the enemy until it wears off. And then go back to fighting like normal, because all it is like a massive damage increase. And like whenever the AI uses it, it does 1 billion damage to you if you don't stand as far away as possible. But of course, whenever you click it is right when the enemy decides to perfect timing stun you with an attack, because whenever you activate it, there's a slight animation delay. Like the moment it ends, the enemy always, every single time, hits you with an attack that stuns you. And it only lasts like 5 seconds, so your first 3 seconds are wasted being stunned, and then you just flounder about. So I never used it. Because whenever I would want to use it, I'm either like, if I activate it, it throws me off because of the little animation, and then I get hit, and then I lose it. Or I don't need it. Because it has a very short timer, and it's a pain to get it back. It takes forever to get it back. Because it's not that you can pop it every battle, or that there's a place you have to go to recharge it. It recharges through fights, but like, it takes forever to recharge unless you consistently get perfects. And like, getting perfect battles is not easy. So, yeah, Soul Boost, don't use it. It's a crutch anyway. So, right, you go to the lab and like you get thing you've been using but slightly worse. And after that, there's, I think, right, you fight this, you fight the trio who, again, I'm convinced someone on the dev team like messed up their names, but whatever. So you fight those goobers, and it's like the same stuff as before, where you have to fight the entire team yourself because Dennis sucks and Liv can't pilot. Like, you find out in like the post game that she's actually really good at it. She just physically cannot do it until like after some plot stuff happens. So anyway, beat the Space Boys, and the green one is like this smug. He's like, he's that guy. The smug guy who you're like, not flamboyant, but like, has the hair that covers one of his eyes, and he's always doing poses and stuff. He's that guy. You know the one. So, and then there's Sleepy Boy, and then there's the red one. And the red one's personality is angry, I think. He doesn't really have a personality. You beat him the one time, and then he says, I'm going to go train, and then you never fight him again until, like, the very, very tail end of the story. Like, he refuses to fight you. He just disappears from the plot until, like, the very final tournament arc. So that's cool. You have to fight blue guy and green guy a couple more times, but, like, not red guy. And I think you fight blue guy more often because he's like, he loses to you, and like his whole thing is that he's lazy and sleeps all the time, but he loses to you once, and he's like, I lost, What do you mean? Everything is supposed to be so easy I can sleep through it and I win. And I lost to you? I'm going to kick your ass. So he, like, is insistent about fighting you every time you meet. And Green Guy's just, like, doesn't care, but, like, in the aloof sort of way, rather than lazy. So he's just making comments from the sidelines about every single time you kick Blue Guy's butt. And you fight Green Guy, like, twice? 3 times in, like, the tail-ending story arc, if you want to, because, like, the very final tournament arc, the whole gimmick is, you get dropped in a forest, and you have to fight 5 people, but you get to pick who, so he's optional. But, like, you find Blue and Green Guy just duking out, like, wow, we cannot beat each other, we keep tying, which is impossible, by the way. It is impossible to tie in this game, and somehow they did it. Make it out what you will. But, like, Green Guy has got the pain-in-the-ass invisible stage. Blue Guy... It's not that Blue Guy's stage is annoying, but, like, his actual robo is, like, actually pretty hard. I think he has the best robo of the 3, and Green Guy just has the annoying stage. So, whatever, you beat them up, and then there's, like, a training arc thing where the police basically go, okay, you're pretty competent, we'll let you into our secret club and talk to the master to get him to grant you the fancy soul boost power. So, you have to fight, like, his 2 apprentices, Shipley, Winchell, and, like, the police chick. And Shipley makes you freaking run around through, like, the overworld for, like, half an hour trying to find him. And, like, he hides in, like, 3 different places. Like, next to the Neo Brain Lab, which is, like, whatever. You'll find him there eventually. But another one of his places, he hides behind the clock tower. You physically cannot see him, but you have to just know to check there. You have to know that you can stand there. So that's annoying. But, like, whatever. You find him 3 times, then you just beat him, and then you win with B. The police girl's basically like, she just gives you like a morality quiz, and she's like, you can't fight me unless you agree with my personal values. So like you obviously pick the goody 2-shoes options. It's easy. You can take it multiple times if for some reason you mess it up. And then the blue guy, and then the kid, Winchell. His whole thing is he's obsessed with dioramas, which basically in this game you can buy these little presentation areas and like pose your robo in it. Like they're cool, but like they're a money sink, and parts are so expensive that I never bothered because like it's too expensive. Like I do not know how to impress upon you the fact that buying new parts in this game is super pricey. It takes forever to get everything. So that's a pain. I don't want to do it. So I don't buy dioramas because like it's just too expensive, you know? But you have to buy until you get like... He wants a specific one, I don't remember what it's called, but you have to just keep buying the diorama items until you get the one he wants and then give it to him. He actually has special dialogue. It's like, he's like, you're really willing to give this to me, but it's your only one. And I'm like, I don't care, just take it and let me fight you. So he takes it and you fight him. Like this point later in the game where he's like, he asks you to lend him $5. And then he just buys it, and he gets, like, a common, so he sells a bunch of them, and gives you back the $5 he got after selling a bunch. So, like, you know, he's the kind of person who plays gacha games, basically. Like, that's his thing. So, anyway, you fight the 3, and you get the soul boost, and there's another time you have to do that. No. You have to fight the 2 of them to get soul boost, and then there's a later thing where you have to fight those 2 and the police girl to get the special license. And the special license is basically the police saying, yeah, you're not in the police, but like, you can fight outside the arena despite not being in the police. Like, the only other person to get it is, like, Liv's older brother, who's, like, the champion. So, apparently, that guy is so badass that they invented a license just to let him continue being a badass, and they just put you through, like, the same hassle. You, the 15-year-old child. So, make of that what you will. But, yeah, like, so you get the special license, and that opens up, like, a little side quest you can do. It's actually really... It's not that hard to know about it, but there's multiple stages where what you're supposed to do for the side quest is not explained at all. It's basically criminal hunting at night. So you can only do it during very specific windows of the story, and the opportunity to do it at all vanishes if you progress too far. And you cannot do it in one night, because, like, you have to do it at night. But you can only do 3 criminal fights at a time, until, like, the very end, where you just chase, like, the head boss. Between, like, 4 different points. Like, once you unlock his fight, you have to do all of it in one night, but you can do all of it in one night. And I messed that up. And I don't have healing items for Chompette. Frick. Darn. Guess we're going back to heal again. As I continue badly recalling the plot of Custom Robo to you. I would tell you the plot of the GameCube one as well, but I do not remember it. Frick. Like, all I remember about the plot of GameCube is that they're a big cosmic horror destroyed the world, somehow got sealed inside of a children's toy, is still able to just destroy the world, but now in children's toy form. And for some reason everyone thinks the Earth is flat because they live in a dome. And you can get a premature game over by just saying no to participating in the plot enough times so they're like, okay, fine, we'll go without you. And then it just smash cuts to the screen to black with, like, narration on the screen being like, and because they all sucked, everyone died. This is your fault for not helping them. The end. And then the guy who you kept saying no to just appears anyway. It's like, I told you you should have come, and then it, like, kicks you back to the menu. So that was funny. But, anyway, back to Arena. So... Right, the criminal plot. It's like a side quest. Your reward for that is, like, the Ray Zero, which I actually think is really good. It's fast. It's basically, it's a Ray model, but it basically plays like the Little Raiders, which are basically, like, they're small, and they're fragile, and they do reduce damage, but they're really, really fast. But the Ray Zero, or the X-Ray, sorry, I don't know why I kept calling it the Ray Zero, but the X-Ray, it's really fast, but it does, like, a positive damage multiplier, and it doesn't go down in one hit, but it's still really fast. It's not as fast as the Little Raiders, but, like, you get Formula Likes, it's fast enough to kind of lean into that play style of just being fast and just dodging everything. So, you know, good Robo. But you have to do the criminal plot. And the problem with the criminal plot is there are multiple stages of it that's just cryptic as hell. No. I can't call it cryptic because that would imply there are hints. So, well, there are hints if you talk to certain NPCs on certain days. Yeah. Because, like, the dialogue the NPCs have changes depending on how deep you are in the story. Oh my god, why is the encounter rate so high? So anyway, the criminal plot. It's like, the first 2 are really easy to find, and then, like, the third one, you have to walk in front of the diorama shop at night, and he will come out of the shop and steal your wallet, and then he'll see you have a special license and be like, oh wow, how about we just have a friendly fight and I leave, and I'll give you back your wallet. He gives you your wallet back before you fight him, by the way. Like, the man is so spooked by the fact that you have that thing that he tries to just kind of hand it back and walk away, and obviously you kick his butt and he gets arrested. But like, the fact that you have to walk in front of the diorama shop, which would imply you ever wanted to visit the diorama shop, and you decide to do it at night for some reason, which is like the worst time to do it, because like there's like no one to fight at night besides the criminals, who you can't find because you have to do them in order, and one of them is hiding in the freaking diorama shop. Which again, there's no reason to go into because it's a money sink in a game where like your money, if you're not spending it on parts, you're not getting new parts. That's one of the things I liked about the GameCube title. You got new parts just for doing story fights. Which for one, meant that they could give you the parts that they wanted you to have or to not have when they wanted you to have them. But also, like, you didn't have to spend hours fighting random NPCs, unnamed NPCs, just to be able to afford a new robo. So, why is the encounter rate so high in this stupid cave? I hate it. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. So anyway, the guy in the diorama shop's a pain. Once you beat him, like, all the rest are pretty simple to find. And then you get to, like, Coyote. And Coyote's shtick is that he runs away every time you run into him, right? But you have to fight him. And the problem is, if you lose even one of the fights, he runs away permanently and you can never encounter him again. So, of course it has Ice Shard. So you have to perfect every, well not, but like you have to first try every one of his fights. So, you know, save after every battle. But like if you chase him down and okay. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Okay, phew. No! Fuck! No. Oh, phew. Okay. Like, you actually get a ton of money from the what's it called? From the criminal plotline. Not enough to buy all the parts you need, of course, because parts are just that expensive and there's a lot of them. Okay, I don't think this is the right place. Hey, we got a super potion. Why is the encounter rate so high? Why? Why? For what reason? Ooh, rare candy. Cool. I can use that for the Gudra, I guess, when it comes to that. So... I took 2 steps, and it's another encounter. So anyway, like, you do the Coyote thing, you get the X-Ray. The X-Ray is really good for a ground mech. Like, it does good damage, but it's still fast, and it doesn't insta-die. It still has bad defenses. It takes a lot of damage, but you don't get downed from literally getting hit once. So it's pretty good. Also the charge, it's weird. It teleports a fixed distance forward, so if you're too close, you can actually overshoot, which is weird. But then you just kind of sit there as a lingering hurt box that's invincible, and then you go back to normal. So the charge is a little harder to use than the Ray 2 and 3, but I do think it's better, because the lingering effect means that if the enemy AI countercharges where they hit charge the same frame that you do, because I guarantee it will do that every single time, because it can read your inputs, and it's just really annoying when it does that. But what'll happen is they'll charge the same time you charge, so with the Ray 0, what'll happen is they click charge, you click charge, and then you're the lingering hitbox, and they just bump into you and take damage on you. So that's pretty cool. So, yeah, but other than that, it's like, right, the illegal part things. So, in universe, there are these things called illegal parts, which are basically like regular parts, but souped up, so they're completely unbalanced. My favorite is the worm gun, which is basically like the dragon gun, but it shoots a ton of projectiles that all do a crap load of damage, and it shoots them really fast. And like the dragon gun is already really fun to use. It's one of those, like, it takes forever to come out, but it fires a homing projectile that does a ton of damage at long range, so it's cool. Like, you're shooting dragons at people, that's awesome. I'm gonna hit the fishing pond. There's probably something in that freaking fishing pond. I gotta hydrate so I don't talk my throat out. Why am I not using the repel? I should get a repels. I took 3 steps. Why is the encounter rate so high? Let's see, show me what you got. Dugong, so bad. So anyway, like, you get the special license, you fight some criminals, some of them have illegal parts, and they're like, illegal parts are bad because they hurt you. Because, like, robos are powered by your mental energy, right? And illegal parts, they don't just suck up your mental energy to the point of being dangerous for you, but they do it to your opponent as well. So, like, they're bad and gotta be regulated, yada yada. So, like, obviously there's something weird. Especially because some guy at Neo Brain just shows up, and he just has one, and you fight him, and he's like, Ree, I'll beat you, I want the Ray 3. And you kick his butt because somehow he picked like the worst one to use on you. Like, the only one that's like a unique weapon instead of just being a modification to another one, and it sucks. So you kick his butt. Okay, so these are Shelter and Dugong. And also there's this lady named Kinjal, who's like just a really manly looking scientist, but she's a girl, apparently. So make it out what you will. And she's like the illegal part boy's adoptive mother or something. So that's suspicious as heck. And turns out, yeah, the creepy lady with like the heavily defined chin is evil. So yeah, you beat her, whoopty-doopty. You win. Or, no, you don't. You fight her once during like a school event thing, which is like, fight all the professors, and one of them is hiding in a toilet stall. He's not visible from outside it, you just have to know he's there. So that takes you, like, way too long to find. I took 2 steps. Why is the encounter rate so high? Please tell me I have repels. I have 1. Well, if you picked ice, this is where you go. You go into Cold Steel Cavern, which has ice types and steel types. And you, I guess, go deeper and you get the Icebound Pit, where you have the other guys. So that's whatever. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See what I mean? Counter rate's too high in this game. That's why I'm talking about custom robo, because I cannot be bothered to sit through all these random encounters with Smoochum 1 billion. I took 3 steps. So anyway, you eventually, like, there's one last tournament where it's like the local cup, right? It's not like the grand robo cup, but it's like the one that you have to win to get into the big tournament. So you win that, whoop-de-doo. It's not hard. And... so you win your way through that. And that's like one of the times where you fight the frickin' sleepy boy, who's named after the sun, despite being water-themed and wanting to sleep. Why is that man not named after the moon? I don't know. Their names probably make more sense in the Japanese version. They probably named them correctly there. Ugh. I took 3 steps, if that. So anyway, yeah, you win the tournament, and I guess it's the other cave, okay. Yeah, I went to the wrong cave. Cool. So... So, yeah. You do, like, the plot stuff, what you do, and you fight the tournament, because, like, again, the entire plot of this game is just tournament arc after tournament arc. So you finally win, and you get into the Robo Cup. So you go to the Robo Cup, and that's, like, the thing I mentioned earlier, where they just dump you in a forest, and they ask you to find other people to fight. Now, granted, because what happens is the cup gets interrupted halfway through, so you don't get to win. You have to do plot stuff before you can get in the real Robo Cup. So you partake in that. You fight some guys in the forest, and then it turns out all the security robos go crazy for some reason. And you also see a weird golden one floating around. It looks like a deer, or looks like a goat. A golden flying goat of murder. And they're attacking people. So, turns out that NeoBrain, the company your dad works at, is actually controlled by an evil crime organization. And they've basically been using you to accumulate combat data for their ultimate robo named Hadron. And they've used it, and your friend Liv, I completely forgot to mention it. It comes up in like when you go to fight the space guys. But what happens is that basically you fight one guy with a legal part and you get tired. But, like, there's more criminals you have to fight. So she reveals that while she can't dive into a robo, she has the power to channel her energy into other people. And, like, the bad guys see this and they're like, yo, we can use that. So they kidnap her and basically just force her to power Hadron. Supposedly, they were going to have you do it instead, which instead raises the question of, if they had you do that, why couldn't you just use Hadron to kill them instead of serving them? I don't know. They used, like, mind control drugs, which, okay, sure, but, like, it'd eventually wear off, so, Anyway, yeah, they kidnap Liv, and oh no, gotta save her because they're using her to power the murder robot. So you break into their basement, you fight stupid illegal parts boy, and he's like, oh no, why can't I beat you? And then he loses because like man's got himself a truly custom robo, completely unique illegal frame with weapon parts named after him. The ultimate personalized machine, and it sucks. And he loses horribly. So you kick his butt, whoop-de-doo. And you go into the basement, and right, and now we get to like the worst part. So you get in the basement, you fight Boy, and you have to take down 4 gatekeepers to open up an elevator. And when you do that, what happens is that... plot twist. The gatekeepers aren't the gatekeepers, they're the release for the gatekeepers. And when you activate the actual gatekeeper, it's this big robot named Jameson, who's this giant flying tank that's like, it's immune to getting knocked down. It has massive damage reduction. Oh crap. And it has guns that do an obscene amount of damage with very large projectiles and explosions. So, it's not only is it super hard to kill, but it can kill you really quickly. And also the stage has lava on it, so limited mobility options there. Because if you jump in the air like once, it'll just knock you out of the sky. So, really pain in the ass fight. Like, it was the only time where I lost enough that it gave me the option to like do it with like reduced enemy HP. It is that hard. So, and like right after you beat it, you have to fight it again, but dirty. So, the rematch is significantly easier, but like, holy crap, dude. So after that, you have to fight like Scientist Lady, and like the criminal thug who's been harassing you the entire time, but whatever. You beat them, it's easy, whoopee-doo. And after that, you have to fight like the boss. His name is Scythe. The main villain's name is Scythe. So, you know, quality, I'm sure. Quality writing. But he's been impersonating this guy named Dr. Mars, who's been dead for like 1 billion years or whatever. Well, not 1 billion, but like he's been dead for like 15 years now. So, I don't know. If the fact that the guy named Dr. Mars is missing an eye, has a mechanical arm, and refuses to let people take his photograph, if him being evil is a surprise, then something low mental capacity. But anyway, yeah, so yeah, you fight Scythe, and he's got a robot named Katana, and it's basically like this evil samurai-looking dude who can tell who has Stealth Fighter, right? Because like Stealth Fighter is a robo type, and their gimmick is that they teleport, basically. So like their air dash has starting lag, but when they do it, you can't hit them. That's the gimmick. So you fight him, you beat him, and he... What he does is he pulls this stunt where, like... Because, like, in the basement, you're traveling with this guy named Eddie, who's like Liv's brother, he's the champion, I mentioned him. So... What happens is, like, you get to Scythe, and Eddie's like, this man is the man who killed my father. Let me fight him. So you let him fight him. And then he wins, and he's like, wow, that was weirdly easy. And then he gets attacked from the side, because plot twist, turns out that he was fighting a fake robo, a fake autonomous Scythe, and the real one just stabs him in the back. So he's like too wounded to go on and actually fight. So you have to do it, protagonist man. So anyway, you kick his ass. Then he's like, okay, you may have beaten me, but like Hadron is still like the most powerful robo ever. Mwahaha. And he runs off. And he runs away to his pet super robot. So you follow him. And he's like, aha! I have Liv plugged into the wall, and she's powering Hadron. And we cannot be stopped. You cannot beat us. Mwahaha. So, you know, he's like, Hadron, stop them! And then you kick Hadron's butt, because... Actually, you don't, because Hadron's like one of the harder fights. It's not the hardest. I still think the giant super tank is harder. But, like, it's like the second hardest fight. Oh, I missed. Guess we're cooking Dragon Claw. Oh, nope, never mind. Okay. So, anyway, Hadron, it's pretty hard. It does a lot of damage, and it's one of those robots that can attack you while they're air dashing, which are always a pain in the ass to fight. Because, like, you can't really approach them because they keep running away and shooting you whenever you try to get close. I should take and dig. I did not notice the escape dungeons till after I already attacked. Whatever. I'm tired of this nonsense. The city is tired of this nonsense, and I am almost certain you're tired of it too. I've turned into the best. Was taught to teach a Pokemon a move they can't normally learn. This fight won't be easy. Okay, plot fight. Anyway, back to talking about custom robo. Oh, this guy's sprite actually looks pretty cool. I'm still gonna kick his butt. So... Fuck you. I mean, if you want to keep doing this, we can do this, buddy. Okay. At least I don't have to worry about them later. So anyway, he pilots Hadron, and you beat him. Hadron 1 is not that hard. Oh. Okay. That's actually kind of scary. Broken apostrophe, very cool. Why would you give a Tyranitar Brave Bird? I don't care if you can, like, cheat. Why would you do that? So anyway, you beat Hadron, and then he's like, oh no, I've been defeated, and then they pull Liv out of the wall socket, and Hadron's lying on the ground, And Seth's like, no, they were supposed to be unbeatable, meh. And what happens is... Why are you not using Earthquake, you idiot? Doragon Koda. Perish, fool. And what happens is Hadron literally eats Scythe. The little golden goat that by all rights should not be able to move just dies. Like, it just murders the guy, absorbs his soul, and he's like, I am the leader of Grey Bum now, and you will bow to me, ha ha ha, and then you fight it, and he's like invincible, because its soul boosts, and it does 1 billion damage, and it's invincible, and oh no! So... Wow, flinch. Got him. Haha, got him. Metagross sweep. Oh no. Not Metagross sweep. Bye. So it murders Scythe, and it gets a Super Saiyan. Whoop-de-doo. Why are you using Flare Blitz? I mean, sure, bro, if you want to do that, but I don't see that working out for you, bro. Somehow. And time to wreck you with my starter. Ooh, look at her. Look at her and tremble in fear. Ha ha ha. Whoopee. Oh, okay. Cool. So anyway, yeah, Hadron murders his boss and becomes the boss. And he's like, I'm the captain now. I will rule the world. I, a 12-inch tall robot. Ha ha ha. And then all your friends are like, wait, we can totally beat him if we funnel all our energy. And then they all funnel their energy into you. And you go Super Saiyan. And then you beat the crap out of each other. And it takes forever because he does 1 billion damage, but it's 2 billion damage now. And like, you still do regular damage. So whatever. It took me a couple tries. I eventually gave up and just went for the long-range cheese build. Because the AI is stupid and doesn't really know how to fight it. So I won. So yeah. That was a good time. And then like when you beat Hadron, they're like, woohoo, we won, and then you go home, and then they're like, we're doing the tournament again anyway, and then you do it. And then this is the second time that you fight the guy from the space trio who said he's gonna leave to do a training arc. Like, you finally run into him again in like the final 4. And he's like, aha, I've done a training arc, and then you kick his butt again, and he's like, aw. And then like, let me see, you beat him, and that's like it's final 4. So right after him, you fight Eddie, who's like Liv's brother, who's like the guy who would have carried the day, but he got stabbed in the gut by like a tiny 1 foot tall robot samurai. And he uses a lightning sky, which is another one of those robots that like can shoot you while still flying, and it's called Mistral, and you literally cannot get it until like the post end game, right? Like, it's the second to last robot you get. You have to do literally all of the other stuff in the post game to unlock the Eddie and Liv fights. You beat Eddie, you finally get Mistral and the last gun, and then you fight Liv, and then you get like the Ray. Like, not Ray 1, which was the Robo from the GameCube game, because the Ray 1 is not the original Ray. It's like, because the GameCube game, I think, was supposed to be like a gritty reboot kind of dealy. But no, you get the Ray 1 as in like the Ray from the first game. That's the one that Liv uses. And it's like, whatever. I don't even remember what it does. It's like, it's Ray but fast and does big damage but fragile. So like the same thing as Ray 0 but more so. And then when you beat her, you get it, and then you've officially done literally everything in the game. because again, to fight Eddie and live, you have to do literally everything else in the game. So, yeah, 100%ing Arena is a pain in the butt. 100%ing the GameCube game is also a little bit of a pain, but more because like you have to do a bunch of gimmick fights. In Arena, it just takes forever, because to 100% Arena, you have to not just do all the special fights, but you also have to buy a ton of illegal parts in the post-game, because like post-game is defined by like special grudge matches where like you refight everyone, but they've got new builds and like special gimmick arenas on like every single fight, but they all have conditions to do, and once you beat like 10 of them, or not 10, but like you have to do like half of the grudge matches, and you unlock the underground by fighting a hologram doppelganger of you, who's just like, yeah, a scientist made me, and like that's it. He doesn't explain anything else, he's just there. And you beat him, and he's like, cool, here's an illegal robo, and like a ton of illegal parts, and they're actually some of the better ones available anyways. And then he's like, yeah, come meet me in this guy's basement, and you'll get real power. And that's when you unlock the illegal parts shop. But, like, everything costs multiple hundreds of dollars, and you only get like $12 per fight. So, you know, a little under 10 fights to buy one part. Yeah, even if you do like all the arcade battles and the special battles, which actually pay out a pretty hefty amount, you are not going to have nearly enough cash to buy all the stuff you need. And that's like my biggest problem with Arena. There's legitimately not enough money to get all the stuff you would want in a game where you have to buy all the stuff that you would want in order to use it in the multiplayer, which is like the main appeal of the game. This is why the GameCube game is better. I like Arena as a story game, but don't, if you plan to do multiplayer, don't pick Arena. For one, like, DS, low performance, small camera, crusty polygon models. GameCube game looks way better in the battles. It just does. But yeah, so that's me rambling the plot of Custom Robo across like an hour and a half. I hope you enjoyed Edgar fight, Zoroark stuff. I don't know what I'm going to call this episode. See you all next time. My throat hurts.